Hey, this is Chris. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Popcorn Finance, the show where we discuss finance and about the time it takes to make a bag of popcorn. Appreciate you all coming back and joining me for another episode. And today I'm excited to hop in and answer another listener question. But before we do that, I wanted to say a big thank you to Cons and Kernels for bringing you all this bag of popcorn. It's been great having Cons and Kernels all this month as a sponsor because they have amazing flavors such as sweet sriracha, Sin City, which is a delicious cinnamon popcorn, and peanut butter and honey. But I'm also excited to be partnering with Cons and Kernels because of their amazing mission to provide a positive employment experience to those with criminal records. The founder of Cons and Kernels, Emily O'Brien, believes that everyone deserves a second chance. And she knows this firsthand after being released from prison and seeing just how difficult it was to not only find a job, but to feel worthy of a second chance. So Cons and Kernels has made it their mission to provide the opportunity for individuals to gain confidence and maintain positive employment, all while focusing on meaningful prison reform efforts. And Cons and Kernels is continuing to do a popcorn giveaway all throughout the month of November just for Popcorn Finance listeners. This week, I wanted to get to know you all, the listeners, a little bit better. I really do honestly appreciate your support and your kindness through you, listening to the show. You send in great messages to me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You send in great voicemails and emails. I really do appreciate all of you for taking the time to listen to the show and get to know me over these years. So this week, I want you to tell me about yourselves. I'm going to pull one of my favorite questions that I ask in the special Quick Pop episodes that I've done from time to time. And the question that I want you to answer in order to be entered in for the 3-flavor pack of popcorn from Cons and Kernels is, if someone just walked up to you and gave you $100, what would you spend that money on? And this is nothing responsible. Please don't say paying off debt or saving it, any of that stuff, because I know those are the responsible answers. That's what you're supposed to say. But I want to get to know you. That's the whole point of this. So I want to know, what would you truly, honestly spend that money on, just for fun? You can send me your answers a couple of ways. First, you can call into the Popcorn Finance Hotline, my new favorite number. That number is 707-200-8259. Don't worry, I'm putting it in the show notes so that way you can find it right there and call me directly from your phone and leave me a voice message letting me know the answer to that question. So I'm looking forward to hearing your answers, and thanks again to Cons and Kernels for sponsoring this giveaway. And I always love saying their tagline. I don't know why. It brings a smile to my face. It's Cons and Kernels, popcorn so good it's criminal. All right, so let's jump into today's listener question. This call came in from Michael.
Hey, Chris, big fan of the show. My name is Michael Williams in Dallas, Texas. Quick question. If you are in the process of trying to pay down debt, would you still contribute to your 401k, or would you focus all of your intentions on paying down the debt and then focusing on putting money into your 401k? So that was my question. Once again, big fan of the show. Thanks for all you do, and I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Michael, for calling in. I really appreciate that. And this is a great question. And it's actually a pretty common question, something that I've heard a few times before. And I answered a similar question back in episode 110 with Aaron Lowry. But I think this is still worth talking about again because I think we all want to know. A lot of us have debt and a lot of us want to still retire at some point. So how do we balance the two? I think the biggest thing to consider in all of this is the interest rate that you're being charged on that debt. I'm not sure what type of debt it is that you have, but if it is high interest debt in the form of, say, a credit card, which interest rates can be ridiculously high. I mean, they can be from the high teens up to the high 20s. And in that case, it is highly unlikely that you'll be able to out earn that credit card interest with any type of legal investment product. Because what you're looking at is, how much is this debt costing me versus how much could I earn if I were to invest this money? And if you're paying 25% interest on a credit card, and typical investment return is going to be anywhere between 7 to 10%, depending on the time frame you're looking at, you're going to be losing money in that situation if you decide to invest it and then let that debt sit and accumulate interest. So that will be the first thing you want to consider when making the decision on where you want to place your money. The next thing to consider is, does your company offer some type of match for their 401k plan? And a 401k match is essentially free money that your organization or your company is willing to give to you as a benefit of being employed there. And there's normally some requirement in order to receive this money, and typically it is a minimum contribution on your part. So an example of a requirement could be if you contribute 3% of your salary, the employer will also contribute an additional matching 3% of your salary into your 401k plan. Or it could be for every $2 that you put in, your employer will give you one additional dollar up to a certain dollar amount. Whatever the match is, it typically is a really great deal and something that you don't want to pass up. Back when we were paying down our credit card debt, my job offered a match, and I was so focused on paying down the debt that I completely ignored it. It wasn't until maybe I think the last 5 or 6 months of us paying down debt that I decided to take advantage of the match. And then they ended up getting rid of the program. So I barely had any opportunity to get that free money. So now looking back on it, I really wish that I would have taken a little bit of that money that I was putting towards my debt and push it over towards my retirement plan just to take advantage of that match, because it is free money and it is a 100% return, which you're not going to get really anywhere else. So to wrap everything up and recap here, Michael, my advice to you is to first focus on the interest rates. If you have any high interest debt, you're going to want to put your effort into getting rid of those balances first. Back in episode 110, Aaron recommended that any debt with an interest rate higher than 5%, specifically talking about student loans, should be your focus. And if you have any interest rates lower than 5%, then you could consider finding a balance between investing and paying down that debt. But it's going to be personal to you. Aaron stressed that if this debt is weighing you down mentally and it's really stressing you out, it might be worth it to focus on that and then worry about investing after you get that down and taken care of. I'm always a fan of tackling debt first and getting that out of the way, but if there is some type of employer match and you have the ability to work that into your budget along with paying down your debt, I definitely would keep that in mind. So Michael, thanks for calling in, and I hope that answered your question. So if you're like Michael and you have a question that you would like me to answer, call into the Popcorn Finance Hotline. Again, that number is 707-200-8259. I'd love to hear from you. And you can also use that exact same number to enter into this week's popcorn giveaway sponsored by Cons and Kernels. Just call in and let me know. If someone was to walk up to you and hand you $100 and you could not do something responsible with this money, what would you buy? I'm really excited to hear your answers and get to know you all a little bit better. So as always, I appreciate you joining me here for another bag of popcorn. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Your boy keep it poppin' like Mary Poppins.